journey. Sit back, buckle up, enjoy the ride with Crystal Petry. Consulting, so inspiring.
Hello, and welcome to another episode of 60 Minutes With. I'm your host, Crystal Petry. Wherever you are, whatever you're doing, make sure you subscribe to my channel right now. On this week's episode of 60 Minutes With, I have a mother-daughter duo who is helping to reduce, reuse, and recycle flowers. Yes, you heard me right. Flowers with Petal Power. And here to educate me and you about the power of petals, we have Lonnie Briggs and Camille Briggs. So welcome both of you to the podcast.
Thank you. Glad to be here.
Thanks so much for having us on.
Thank you. Now, I don't know if you can tell which one is the mother-daughter. Which one is the mother-daughter? Now, so you guys are the first mother-daughter combo that I've had on the podcast, so thank you for that. Now, my first question is, tell me about Petal Power. How did you guys start this? Where did that come from?
Well, Petal Power is our nonprofit petal organization that we had brought to Beaumont. All we really do is repurpose flowers. We go to different events, galas, any type of event that's possibly going on, and we just really collect the flowers, make up pretty arrangements, and pass them on to residents of nursing homes and first responders.
Okay, and I'll direct this to you, Camille. What in your life was going on when you were like, you know what, I'm going to start a nonprofit. Let's do this.
So I'm a member of the Golden Triangle chapter of the Links,
Okay.
and we were having our regional conference in Austin. And I was in line waiting to get a coffee, and the line was long.
Okay.
So I started making conversation with the person in front of me, Gina Gaston. And she was telling me about how her and her daughter started a nonprofit called Petal Power. And what they do is repurpose flowers from events and hand them out to nursing homes. Mm-hmm. And so I knew that Lonnie is a big time environmentalist, really big on recycling and things like that. And so I thought that would be something good that we could do here in Beaumont. There's no money exchanged. Mm-hmm. It's just sweat equity and gas. And we just go and we pick up flowers from events after they're over and load them all up in the car and then bring them to the nursing home. Sometimes we have some vases that have been donated to us. And so we sometimes have to break down some of the arrangements into more arrangements so that everybody can get something. But honestly, when you walk into someone's room and you see them light up like, what, for me? Who is this from? And we say, it's from Petal Power. We hope you have a beautiful day. It just really brings a smile to whoever. And so we've been doing it now since 2019.
Yeah.
And how old were you, Lonnie, when your mom had this epiphany?
Well, I was 13 around the time. I was like in 8th grade. It was kind of like the end of my 8th grade, kind of going into freshman year. Found out about it. My mom, she just sat down and talked about it. I was like, yeah, that sounds like fun. And so then we had a Zoom call meeting with the Houston chapter, and we really just got it all set off, and it really just blew from there.
So at 13, 8th grade roundabout, you're like, let's do this nonprofit, let's support and encourage senior citizens and disabled. At 13, most kids are not thinking about stuff like that. They're not thinking about other people. They're not wanting to start a nonprofit. So what inside of you was like, let's do this at 13?
Well, honestly, with the help of my mom, she really did help me instill this strive to really help out the community. I've always been involved in community service with the organization that I've been in with, Jack and Jill and Top Teens. I've constantly been doing community service throughout my life, and it's always been a part of me. So honestly, having an opportunity to do something like this was a wonderful one, and I was willing to take it. I mean, there's tons, I'm friends with many people who would honestly, I think, would participate in stuff like this, and I've been around just tons of kids who also love community service, so it was just a wonderful opportunity for me.
Camille, have you ever started a nonprofit before?
No.
Okay, so
Not at all.
was there fear there? Was there apprehension there?
You know what? We did have some hurdles in the beginning bringing it to Beaumont because it was a different idea. People have never heard about it before.
Okay.
What are you doing with these flowers? And why do you want them? And why are you showing up after the wedding? So there are a lot of questions that went along with it. But I think the more that we've posted on social media, the more that people who have family members in nursing homes, they see the flowers too. And they're like, wait a minute, is that the Petal group? And so, so the more that word has gotten out about it, we've been received a little bit better. We also had a huge hurdle of COVID. So when COVID hit in 2020, we were just getting started, and then all of a sudden, boom, no more events, no more banquets. And so we came into ourselves and was like, okay, guys, what are we going to do instead? And so that's when we started letter writing. So for the residents of nursing homes, we would just write words of encouragement and letters. Tell us about it, Lonnie. You want to talk about it?
So pretty much we would write tons of letters, and I'm with the Xenos group, the organization group, and I would connect with them, and we would just start writing tons of letters and notes, letting these residents know that we're thinking of them, they're not alone. If there was some type of holiday going on, we'd be like, happy Grandparents' Day, or Happy Mother's Day, or Happy Father's Day, and just letting them know that, there are people thinking about them, and, some people might not visit them as often, but we'd still be able to let some kind words be shown to, we're thinking about you, and we're thankful of everyone that works there, because we'd also be saying, writing some thank yous for everything that you do for us. So.
What is did you say Xenos group?
Xenos group.
Okay, what is that?
So that is it's a nonprofit organization also, and we pretty much, we do community service around the, just Beaumont. It's girls, it's high school girls from Westbrook, Hardin Jefferson, just all around this whole entire, just the area, the Southeast Texas area, and we all just come together. We do all types of different things for multiple different groups of people, and we really just work together and just do different things together.
So I'm a member of the National Sorority of Phi Delta Kappa.
Okay.
And it's a sorority of educators. I joined it when I started working as a teacher in Ozan. And at that point, they had put me over the Xenos to be the Xenos sponsor. And so what the Xenos and Kudos are, Xenos are for girls, Kudos are for boys. And they're the youth group of the National Sorority of Phi Delta Kappa, right? And so we kind of pour into them, give them opportunities to be leaders, opportunities to do community service. And every year they have a Xeno Kudo conference. This year it was held in Beaumont. Yes, so we had about 500 kids at the Holiday Inn on Walden Road. Crazy.
So fun.
Crazy. But it was super fun. We competed in STEP and talent and public speaking and just, building leaders. And so we would bring it. So Lonnie's the president of Xenos this year. Poor Lonnie. She's been in Xenos since she was
Yes, I've been there.
She's been in Xenos since she was in 3rd grade or whatever.
It's been a good fit. And you know what? Even before I was in Xenos, I was just watching the older Xenos go, and I already knew the stuff. I know it by heart now, y'all. I know it by heart now. So
the Xenos helped out quite a bit. Whenever they would have their lock-ins or things, we would write letters and drop them off at the nursing home because we weren't allowed to go inside.
Right.
And the nurses would pass them out, and just encouraging words to the nurses and the healthcare workers and the first responders. And, just a kind word really can change your trajectory of your day, right?
It's true.
And so that's what we did.
So let's go back to the beginning. I understand that Petal Power was already started somewhere else, and then you guys brought it here to Beaumont. So did you have to do the paperwork to start the nonprofit here in Beaumont? What was that like?
So Gina Gadsden and her team in Houston, they did all the paperwork, all of the filing.
Okay. For here in Beaumont.
For Houston chapter, right? And so we're under their umbrella.
Okay.
Yes, and so that's the organization. They're the 501c3, and we're the Beaumont chapter of that 501c3.
Okay. So why is this? And this is a question for both of you. Why is this a nonprofit instead of a for-profit organization?
Well, honestly, there was no thought or idea of us making any type of money from anything that we were really trying to do with this. It was all simply just because we want to take care of the community. There was no money behind any type of the idea of this. So honestly, it was really all strictly let's help out these people, and what way can we do that in the most effective way?
So I've gone to events, and you probably have too, and you've seen the centerpieces. And I've been on cleanup committees at these events, and I've literally taken beautiful, expensive roses and just all sorts of beautiful, expensive flowers and thrown them in the trash to keep the vase. And I've done this like for years. And so the idea of Petal Power is really powerful because the flowers that have already been paid for, the arrangements that have been so beautifully made up, get to live on, get to live beyond that particular event, and get to continue to bring joy to other people.
Right.
It's the perfect idea. It's the perfect thing. And so the key is that people think about us and don't think about us at 11 o'clock after the wedding or midnight after the banquet. Think about us early so that we can get the volunteers needed to come in, get the flowers, and repurpose them and continue the life of the beautiful flowers.
And as you're talking about that, stay tuned to the podcast because we'll give out information on how people can connect with both of you for Petal Power so they don't think about you at 11 o'clock at night and say, oh yeah, Camille and Lonnie, oh yeah. So, when I was getting ready for this interview, again, I've been to the events, you throw the flowers away, people leave the flowers, leave the vase, that's like, no one cares about that. But you really are recycling these beautiful flowers, you really are recycling the vases. What is the end goal, would you say, Lonnie, for this nonprofit, for Petal Power?
To leave a smile on people's faces. It's honestly the most rewarding feeling that I feel like possibly in my life could be going on, is being able to know that you were able to make someone's day better and you were able to change their mood. And honestly, that's what the end goal of all of this even is. It's really just to make people happy. It's to give these flowers a bigger purpose than they were for that event. It was just to, just let people smile with these flowers. Because, you look at the flowers, you're like, oh, this is such a beautiful centerpiece. But it could be like way beyond that. Like, someone was really thinking of
Why do you think, or maybe Lonnie, why are the flowers donated to people in nursing homes? So those people mostly are senior citizens, but they're also disabled as well. So why that target group?
So I feel like it was a lot easier, I believe, for us to be able to just connect with the nurses over at the nursing homes, and more opportunities for us to just be able to deliver those flowers to the residents. And that's why usually it would be a nursing home, but we usually would do, sometimes we do like the first responder groups. We've been
to the Beaumont Police Department and dropped them off.
Yeah.
They really enjoyed that. We brightened up their break room. But I really connected with the nursing home because my mother-in-law, the late Miss Ella Briggs, she lived at College Street Nursing Home, and sometimes residents there feel forgotten, right? And so it's really important that they know they're not forgotten, that somebody's thinking about them. And so that's why, we chose, so we have several nursing homes that we partner with because sometimes we have 200 arrangements from like the Dancing with the Stars event hosted by the Junior League of Beaumont. Or sometimes we have 5 smaller arrangements. And so it depends on what we get versus where we go and who we cater to.
Okay. And what is your intention, Camille, with Petal Power?
Well, I wanted to do something with my daughter. She is really big into recycling and salvaging things. Been that way since elementary. Okay. And so I know that she would really get a kick on what we're doing, repurposing flowers. It's not always about recycling, but if you can repurpose something, it can continue its life, right? Right. And so that's what it's about.
Okay. So the flowers, when do people contact you and say, we have this event, do y'all want the flowers? Like, what is that process?
Sometimes I reach out to them and say, I understand that you guys are having your gala. Could Petal Power get the flowers from your gala and donate them to whatever nursing home? And they either, they go back to their committee and say yes or no. And what I found is, once you get a yes, they're expecting you every year, right? So we have people every year. Our goal is to at least do one salvage a month. If we can do one a month, that's a successful year for us. So we've been doing good so far.
Yeah.
Sometimes in the summer months that it's slower, less galas, less events.
Right.
But they also have weddings. There are also funerals.
Yeah.
People have called us to really want to keep the life and spirit of their loved ones living on. So they've called us to come get the flowers, and we're able to bring smiles to people with those flowers. So.
And that was going to be one of my questions. So you do accept flowers from funerals and funeral homes. How does that feel going into a sad moment, a lot of times the saddest moment of someone's life, to receive those flowers and then turn that around into maybe the best moment of someone's day?
You know what? When we did it recently, the wife of someone who had passed away said she felt such joy that her husband's spirit is continuing on through these flowers. And so, it's all joy, it's all happiness, and it's all a welcome gift.
Okay.
The power of petals.
Yes.
Let me tell you, when you walk into those rooms and you see those smiles, and the people say, "For me," that is just so rewarding. And so, to be a part of that in any small way is very beneficial.
Lonnie, why do you think you get that reaction when you go into a room, you have flowers, and people are so shocked that you're doing something kind for them? And I'm sure you don't know them, they don't know you. Why do you think they give you that reaction?
I feel like a lot of people in this world really do believe that, a lot of things they do are not appreciated, or their life is not appreciated or celebrated. And I really do feel like that's really the root of why there's such happiness brought from just simply bringing, somebody flowers, taking the time to collect these flowers just to bring it to them, show them something beautiful, let them know that we care about them. People don't get appreciated enough. And I want people to know that they are appreciated. I'm thinking of you. Thank you for everything that you do. And here you go.
So there is a saying, we've all heard it, give them their flowers while they can still smell them. You guys are literally doing that in real time, in real life.
Yeah.
So explain that.
Well, I really do think that they should be smelling the flowers before they can. We really need to be able to show these people like we really do care. And flowers are beautiful. We all love flowers. I think we all love flowers.
Yeah.
So the flowers, it's really a way to be able to open up and, show these people that we really do care. So.
Camille, walk me through the steps on how this works, from the phone call that you make or receive until you hand deliver the flowers. What are those steps?
Well, it's not magic.
Okay.
Let me just say that right now.
Okay.
There's a process in it. So, for instance, we know that there's an upcoming event or gala, right? Okay. About how many arrangements do you have? 80. Okay. So I have a Tahoe. So I load up the Tahoe with flowers. We have our red wagon, best invention ever.
Okay.
And so, and then before, the day even comes, I contact the nursing home to find out what's the best time that we can come.
Okay.
Are we going to be allowed inside? Are there any protocols that we need to follow? Are we supposed to be wearing masks? Like, what are the rules? Will they take our temperatures? And I let them know, how many volunteers I have coming, so that they'll know and they'll have somebody there to greet us. And then it's just a sweat equity at that part. You show up. Sometimes I'm at that gala or whatever. I change into my tennis shoes, and we collect all the flowers. Sometimes the decorators allow us to keep the vases. Sometimes they don't. We're just prepared for that. We have buckets. So we have the flowers, we collect all of them, we load them up in the car. Then we get to the nursing home, and before we even go inside, we are separating the different arrangements so that we'll have enough for all the rooms. Sometimes we put down some in the common spaces, at the lunchroom, around the piano, the nursing stations, some of the common spaces get them. And then if we have enough, then it goes into the residence room. Now, some people are allergic, so we have one of the activities directors or nurses escorting us to let us know who can receive them and who can't. So that's the process. And, you put in it's about 4 or 5 hours, going into it. And When we first started, I had no idea that like arranging flowers was a real art form.
It is one that I am not good at, but it is.
Well, I've gotten better with time.
We've gotten better.
It's a process. So, and that's another skill that she's learning. It's really important that kids know how to talk to people and know how to get people to buy into what they're doing. And so when she's at these galas, you have to talk to people and, let them know what we're doing. Some people are like, who are you and where you're going with them?
All the time.
What are you doing?
Yes. Yeah.
And you have to be able to explain what you're doing.
Yeah, and like what we are and like what we're trying to do. Because, tons of people constantly would ask us the question like, hey, what do you do with those flowers?
Yes.
I'm like, well, we're about to go ahead and give them to people in different areas just to let them know that we appreciate them. So, it really does help me out being able to, trying to tell them what I'm doing, especially for like everything else that I do, honestly. I can just be able to, this is what I'm doing.
Yeah. So how long after the event is over do you come in and start getting the flowers off the table? Is it immediately? Is it an hour? Do you wait until all the guests leave?
Well, honestly, we would get there a little bit. Sometimes we've gotten there like a little bit before the event even ended. So we really do go in while people are taking down the stuff, which could be like right after the event or a little bit like just kind of at the end of the event. So it really just depends on when they really want us to come and what time would honestly be appropriate for us to start taking down the flowers. So.
And so Camille was saying it takes about 4 or 5 hours to take down everything. So in my mind, I'm thinking, most events are over maybe 9 or 10 o'clock. Mm-hmm. So you guys are sometimes there until the next, like, early morning.
Yeah.
Well, it takes a long time, but so maybe an hour to collect all of the flowers and then load them all up. And then the next day when we're giving them out, we'll have to make smaller arrangements, and that takes time.
Okay.
And then handing it out to the residents, which takes time because they want to talk.
Okay.
They kind of want to visit, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that's a part of it too.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I think that goes back to what Lonnie was saying, that sometimes they feel forgotten. So if someone's walking in their room with a smile and flowers, they really want to talk. So do you sit down and talk, or do you have that time?
Well, if people want to talk, we do. Yeah, we talk. We have the time. We're not on like a time limit. Mm-hmm. I don't believe that I've known it. But yeah, if they want to talk, we just talk. Okay. And sometimes some people, they don't really want to talk, but some people, they really do.
Yeah.
We just sit down and talk. How are you doing?
Okay.
Yeah. So.
How many nursing homes are y'all partnered with, and how did that partnership come about?
Just calling, and I have some people, because it's always off hours. Like the events are on like Saturday night late, and so I'm texting the activities director a week before to say, hey, can we come by Sunday morning at 10 and then sometimes we drop off the flowers, and then if we have somebody like the top teams of Beaumont working with us, mm-hmm. or the Zenos working with us, we stay and do a bingo game with them in the common area, and just, it's all community service. It's all giving back, and it's all empowering young people to learn how to communicate and make a difference in the community. It's not natural. That's a learned behavior. Mm-hmm. Teaching people to give back is not natural. It's a learned behavior. And so it's up to us to teach our kids to give back.
Okay. And why is that so important for you, Camille, as the mother of Lonnie, to teach her to give back? Because most people, they don't think about that. They think about the education, the college, the career, those things.
You know what? I know that Lonnie's a future leader. She is a leader already, and she's going to do big things. In my whole life, my parents have instilled in me the need to give back to others. It's not just about you. And the thing about it is, when you give back, you also benefit. It's so rewarding. So, from a young age, I've encouraged her to do things for other people, talk to people, see other people. Lonnie has gone on mission trips to Africa, Liberia, West Africa. She's been doing community service since she could, walk. And it's a learned behavior. And it's up to us to teach our kids to be leaders and to give back. If they don't learn it from us, who they're going to learn it from?
Yeah, absolutely. how do nursing homes get on this list? So, someone is watching this podcast, the executive director or whoever, how would they get in touch with you to say, I want to be recipients of Petal Power?
Definitely reach out to me.
Okay.
You can always email camillebriggs@gmail.com or hit us up on Facebook. We have our Petal Power website. Just search Petal Power Gives, and you can see our website, you can see our Facebook page, message us, reach out to us, and we would love to have more partners.
Absolutely.
And Lonnie, how would, people are having events, they're having weddings and things like that, graduation, all of those things, if they want to give the flowers to Petal Power, how do they do that?
They just contact us. Well, like my mom said, we'd reach out to them, like, oh yeah, we know that event's going on. I was wondering if we'd be able to, take your flowers if, you'd be willing to. And they usually are. So either we're just contacting them or they're contacting us. Like, they just be like, yeah, like I'd love to get these flowers, or I have some flowers that we'd like to give y'all. What time could y'all come in? So it's really just.
Yeah, and I mean, with 1 week notice before your event is all we'll need to get the ball rolling and put the things in place to make it happen.
Okay, so anyone that's having any kind of event, a wedding, a funeral, fundraisers, they want to donate the flowers to you guys so they can be reused, or if a nursing home wants to be recipients of Petal Power, they just basically need to email you. And can you give us that email address again, Camille?
It's Camille Briggs, CamilleBriggs, CamilleBriggs@gmail.com.
Okay. Whenever you go into the nursing homes, how do you know which of the residents to give the flowers to?
So we usually have a director or nurse that usually tells us. So if we know not to go in there, then we don't. Or we might just give them a note instead of some flowers. Because some people don't want flowers, or some people are allergic to flowers. So we're really just we're known from the nurses. They just tell us.
Okay. And with the residents, sometimes you have a lot of flowers, sometimes you only have a few flowers depending on the event. What happens if you run out of flowers or you don't have enough flowers for all of the residents?
Well, luckily, that has never happened to us. But if that were to happen, we would just break down the bouquets even more so that we can have more bouquets but lesser flowers, which is fine. It's still beautiful. And it's still something to give.
It's so easy to get caught up in, things that don't matter. What really matters is people are receiving this gift unexpectedly, and it's brightening up their day. So it's easy to say, well, 3 roses each bouquet, or, I mean, come on, no, there are no rules.
Yeah.
We just want it, and it's all beautiful. So, and the flowers get to live on. I think that's good too.
You both have spoken beautifully about the reaction that you get from the residents when you walk into the room with a beautiful smile and beautiful bouquets. What is your reaction when you walk into the room and you give the flowers to these residents and they're in shock? For me, what is your reaction? What is your feeling?
Well, honestly, it's a big blessing to be a blessing. And my mom, I've always been doing stuff like this. And the most rewarding part of it is seeing the reactions of people. Even whenever I went to my mission trip to Liberia, it was seeing the reactions, seeing how thankful people can get from something that you might think is so simple. It is such a big significance in their life. And it's the most beautiful thing, honestly, that someone can go through in life. It's not even about money or being rich or being famous. Honestly, knowing that you were able to help out somebody else besides yourself is one of the most rewarding feelings that someone can get. So,
and it makes it all worth it,
yeah.
Because 10 o'clock at night, I'm laying on the couch, right? I'm watching TV, and I'm like,
Yes.
oh gosh, I gotta get up and get these flowers, right? After the event, because that's when we activate, 10:30 at night. Let's activate, right?
Yes.
And so when you get there, you collect the flowers. It's all this sweat equity. We're loading it up in the car. Can it fit? Where is it gonna go?
Yes.
Can you see the drive?
Yeah.
And then you walk into the residence room, and they say, for me, it makes it all worth it.
yeah,
Yes.
it really does.
So would you both agree that the volunteering does more for you than it does for the residents, or does it do more for the residents than it does for you?
I think it's an equal exchange. I feel like we're able to see them smile, and it makes us smile. I'm happy to see you happy. So honestly, I really do feel like it's an equal exchange.
Okay. Now, Camille, your beautiful daughter is getting ready to go to college, so you will be looking for volunteers.
Yes.
Tell me, what is it that you are looking for in volunteers?
Well, Petal Power started as a mother-daughter team. And so I'm looking for other mother-daughters who, I have younger girls, younger kids, that could come and be a part of Petal Power and take this over. So any sort of young people wanting community service hours, people who are expert artists in doing floral bouquets. Yeah, we're definitely interested in getting some help. And, hopefully, it's a simple thing to do, right? Show up, get the flowers, bring it to somebody else, and that's it. So it's very simple. Hopefully Lonnie will continue this on when she goes to college. Maybe, maybe not, no pressure. But, definitely we're looking for people who are willing to come and be a part, but especially mothers and daughters. I think that it's been rewarding for me to have an opportunity. Lonnie's busy. She's involved in all these things. And, she drives, so she's gone. So I know that when we meet up for Petal Power, that's an opportunity for me to spend time with her. So maybe some other mothers and daughters will look as that as an opportunity for them as well.
Is there a minimum age for the daughters to volunteer?
You know what? I think middle school is when we started, and I think middle school would be a good time. But honestly, if you have a mature 5th grader, that's fine too.
Yeah.
Okay. And what about boys? Are boys invited to be a part of Petal
We like
Power?
boys. Boys are good.
Boys have helped us. Boys have been a big, humongous help to us.
Okay.
Looking for all and any volunteers.
Okay. So Lonnie, give me from the volunteers' perspective, your age, what would the volunteers need to have, like inside of them, to be a huge asset to this nonprofit?
I feel like to be a big asset in this nonprofit and to be in any different type of organization, it's your willingness to show up and to do the work. I feel like that's all you really truly need. Just the willingness to, okay, I have a job, I'm going to do this job, and I'm going to have a good attitude about it. So I really feel like that's all you really need. Just show up.
Okay.
Like on time, preferably, and just get the work done. So that's all you really need.
Camille, how do you find out about the events? I know some of the events that you are already going, but what about events that you are not going to? How do you find out about those events?
Well, there's always something awesome to do in Beaumont, right? And so I sometimes through decorators. Sarah Wells has been an awesome help for us, donating flowers to us. Other nonprofit organizations that have events. But you know what? Flowers are expensive, and so there's some people who are not looking at getting fresh flowers. They want to use silk flowers or some other type of centerpieces, candles. And so, sometimes we get a no, like, listen, Camille, there are really no flowers to give, and that's okay too. But if you are having events, we look in the paper. This is Beaumont, right? So we know all of the big events that are happening at the Civic Center, at the Beaumont Event Center. We've partnered or, called the Beaumont Event Center to say, hey, are there any things coming up? But mostly it's connections with decorators, people who know that they have a wedding coming up, or they're, decorating for Dancing with the Stars or something like that.
Okay. How many volunteers do you currently have? And do you feel like you need, how many more do you think you will need?
Listen, volunteers. So we actually had, about 8 volunteers at our last salvage, which was the Junior League of Beaumont's Dancing with the Stars. We had about 8 or 9 volunteers from the top teams of Beaumont. And it just made things go so quickly, right? We just spread out, we got the flowers, we had a system going, and it was awesome. Sometimes it's just me and Lonnie, and so it takes a lot longer and more trips to the car to get it done. So, if anyone's interested in volunteering, please reach out.
Yeah.
And what about college students? Because, of course, we have a huge college here, right here in Beaumont, Texas. What if college students want to volunteer? Is it open for them?
Absolutely. Okay. Yes. Anybody willing to give up their time, it's appreciated.
And what about the fake flowers? You mentioned those. Do you give those to the residents, or do you just want real flowers?
We just want real flowers.
Okay. Okay, excellent.
Yeah, fresh flowers.
So I know that no money is exchanged in this. So my first question is, why is that?
Well, we don't need any. When we first got started, we had a huge donation of vases that, so we've partnered with these nursing homes, and so when the vases are, when the flowers, the life of the flowers are gone, the vases get recollected. But you know, some break, some lose. So if the people do want to donate, I would think the vases, that would be something that we would appreciate. And we store them, we clean them, and then we just, you know, when we're breaking down the arrangements to make more, we do that. Also, another thing is, you know, there's some residents that can't do glass vases, right? And so we've done like some cups, some paper cups, some of those containers, so plastic containers, things like that. That's also beneficial.
Does Petal Power, Lonnie, only service Beaumont, Texas?
No. I feel like we can go anywhere. We can go anywhere with the flowers. We pick up the flowers from any other place that's around us. We've gone to Houston. So,
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So,
In
anywhere.
Orange, we've done a drop off to a nursing home that was in Orange. So yeah, so we're open and willing. If people want us, we want to be a part.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, I know you said, which I've never heard these words before, that you don't need the money. But if people want to donate the money to Petal Power, how would they do that?
They'll have to go on our website. It's Petal Power Gives, and there's an opportunity to donate there.
Okay. Is there anything else that you would like for us to know about the power of petals?
Well, they can leave a smile on people's faces, and honestly, if anybody else wants to do this, not even just like this organization, they really should. I feel like no one should be afraid to show out and show up for people, honestly. So I feel like it's just a wonderful thing to do. It's absolutely amazing just to be able to see the smiles and be like, oh, is this for me? Like, yes, it is. So honestly, if you're willing to, you know, join us and help us out, that'd be wonderful. So yeah.
I just want to say, don't throw away the flowers.
Yeah, you know?
Yes.
Goodness.
Yes.
I mean, some of those arrangements are like $50 each.
Yes.
And you have
Very
80 of
expensive.
them? That's a lot of money. So
Yeah,
let's bring smiles with the flowers. Let's let them live on.
Yes, yes. Okay, so a couple more questions for you guys, and then I'm gonna let you go. Have you ever received like any feedback from the families of the residents that you are giving the flowers to?
All the time.
Okay. and what
All
is
the
that?
time. They're just so happy. And they're like, don't forget my mother. Don't forget to stop by my Aunt Betty, or don't forget to stop by and see my mom, because it just really brings joy to them as well. To let them know that although they're not there, people are still reaching out to their loved ones, that their loved ones are still interacting with others. And that's a big part of quality of life, is having interactions and being a part of other people. So, family members love when we come. And they can always tell when Petal Power has been there, because it brightens up the room.
Right. So it is a known fact for senior citizens, especially in nursing homes, the social isolation part of it. And you brought up an excellent point, Camille, about just the camaraderie that you bring. How is Petal Power, looking at the overall picture is what I'm doing here, how is Petal Power bringing down the social isolation in Southeast Texas?
Not only are we bringing kids into the nursing homes, right? Because I don't know if kids realize, but they bring joy, they bring life, they bring energy. And so people are always like, well, who are these kids, and where are y'all from, and what school you go to, and what grade you in? And just interacting with the kid, that helps the students as well, because they're learning their skills on communicating, but also it's helping them that, interaction and talking about, oh, when I was in high school I did, and we would hear stories and things like that.
And you know what, I really do feel like the beautiful connection of like being able to meet with the older generation and the older generation being able to meet with the younger generation, we can all really like learn from each other and like learn the perspectives of each other. And I really do feel like that really does open up, like this really does open up a window of that, like being able to connect. And you know, like people really love the connection. I love being able to, you know, get to hear stories from the older people and like what they've gone through and how I can compare that to my everyday life. So.
And Lonnie, what about the people who work at the nursing homes? What has been the feedback from them?
They're just so happy. They're just like, thank you so much. Yes, we were able to brighten up their working spot, like their working spaces with just beautiful flowers. And you know, I love hearing, these flowers are so beautiful, thank you. So it's a wonderful thing to just be able to know that, you know, I was able to brighten up people's working spots. So, yeah.
Why should, and this is for both of you, why should people even care about recycling the flowers, reusing the flowers? Why should, I mean, we have so much in the world in our own personal bubbles to care about. Why should we add this to that?
Well, in my personal opinion, I feel like you really can't make anybody care about anything. But honestly, if people can really put it into perspective, it's honestly doing yourself also a favor to just think bigger outside of your own personal life and to want to give back to other people and to want to see other people smile. So,
I mean, if you can help somebody else, why not?
yeah.
If you are already paying this money for these flowers,
Yeah.
and you've used them and they've really enhanced a special time in your life, why not offer that to somebody else to enhance a special time in their life? You know, you just never know how a kind gesture or a kind word can really change someone's trajectory. So that's something I constantly think about, how to help other people.
So if people want to volunteer with your organization, you're open to volunteers. If nursing homes want to partner and be beneficiaries to Petal Power, and if organizations want to donate flowers, how can all of those three things happen? How can they do that?
Please, please, please contact us.
Just reach out.
Give us an email, CamilleBriggs@gmail.com. Go on our Facebook page, send us a message, Petal Power Gives, and just let us know if you're interested in helping, if you're interested in donating time, if you're interested in donating vases, if you're interested in donating flowers. Just reach out to us and let us know.
Excellent, excellent. So Camille, my final question for this interview, who do you think would make a great guest on the podcast, but you have to help me get them on?
I definitely think you should reach out to Lisa Forney. She is a lady in Houston who helps high school students get scholarships so that they can go to college debt-free. So I definitely think she's somebody who can offer a lot of help and assistance and just awareness to people who have young people going off to college.
Yes, yes. Okay, so that normally is my last question, but Camille, as the mother, as your daughter is getting ready to leave and go to college, how are you dealing with that? Or are you dealing with that?
It's tough. I mean, really, you know, but I know that she's going to go and do great things. And so I'm excited for her in this new chapter that she's going in. I'm just hoping that, you know, I was like, okay, I'm running out of time. You know, I taught her everything that she needs to know.
Yeah.
But listen, I just trust that, you know, she's smart and she's kind and she loves the Lord. And so I know that she's going to do great things.
Excellent. Okay, and Lonnie, for you, as you're getting ready to go off to college, what is that experience? What are you looking forward to? What are you going to miss?
I'm looking forward to the next chapter. This is going to be the whole another chapter of just my whole life. And I'm ready. I feel like my mom, she's prepared me to take on this world, and honestly, I'm ready to have the responsibility to, you know, make my own decisions. But of course, I'm always going to have my mom. Like, I need my mom's help for everything. And you know what, I feel like ever since I've been, you know, growing up, I've been able to realize that more. Like, I'm always going to need my mom's help in some type of way. So I am thankful for her. And I'm ready. I'm ready.
Well, congratulations on going to college. Congratulations to you both on the nonprofit Petal Power. I wish you both nothing but success.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for having us.
Yeah.
And thank
thank
y'all
you.
so much for coming on and being my first mother-daughter duo. And thank you so much for tuning in and watching. You can get this podcast and all of my other podcasts on YouTube Podcasts and Apple Podcasts. And remember, you always have time to listen and learn on the go.
Come on, let's go on a journey. Sit back, buckle up, enjoy the ride with Crystal Petry. Consulting, so inspiring, pushing you to your dreams. You can be anything. Oh, it goes with purpose. It's time to make it happen.